Now I am going to teach you how to fetch data from the database. Like, I insert data, then I want that my data comes here in the form of table. So what I do, I simply grab the table code by writing table in HTML. It show me W3 school. So now I simple grab this table code, copy this code and go to index.php. Then inside this form I paste this code here, and if I save and refresh it, so you can see table, right? I have this company, country and all this stuff, right? So first thing first, I have ID. This is the heading of my table. I simply TR mean table row and TH mean table heading. And then I have first name, and then I have second name. Okay, so if I check my application again, I have ID, I have first name, I have second name, right? So one thing I add to my table, border 1, which means border 1 pixel. So I have something like this. I have border around my table. So now what I need table row, then table data. So in this data I need something 1, then again first name Joseph, second name set to bro, and then if I go to my table, I have Joseph bro and having ID 1, right? But this is static. I want this data which is stored into my database, I want this data here into my application. So what I do, so now what I do, I have to create write my PHP here, because I want to loop through this. I want this to create according to my table, right? So I want to loop through this. I'm going to use the while loop, and first thing first, I'm going to create a query, which is, so which query is select all from names is my table name, right? So I copy this and paste it here. Select all from names, right? Then save. Then I create one more variable, which is connection. I short it down. I write my connection variable name to con, and then copy this connection which I create before and paste it here. And now what I do, I need to loop out this. So I have while loop, then I have one variable which is row, because I want to get the rows, is equal to $. I have to create run variable first. $run is equal to $connection goes to query, and inside this query I have this query. So I copy and paste it here. I have this query. Then what I do, I simple write run goes to fetch associate. Fetch associate function. Now I have three fields, which is ID, first name and second name. I create three variables: ID, oh no, it's not ID, it's ID. Then the second variable name, first name. Then the third variable name, last name. And in these variable I save the data comes from the database. And here I place the same name with my table heading ID, first name, last name, age. ID, first name, last name, age. Look at this. I'm going to remove this curly brace because I want to break PHP, and again write here PHP and put curly brace here because I want to loop through these lines. And if I use this method, these lines automatically come inside this code, right? So now what I do, I'm going to echoing out my variable, which is ID, copy these lines, paste it here, paste it here, ID, its first name, its last name, and one more field for age. This is age. Okay, so I have ID, first name, last name and age. I save it, check everything, it look perfect. And then if I go back to my application and refresh, you can see I have John Doe having all the data into my database. So I write it here, first name Faisal, last name Fiverr, age 20, insert. So you can see this data go inside our database and then coming out, right? So you can insert, look at this, insert this built-in data, and it show you on our web application, right? So this is how you can fetch the data from your database by following the simple steps and the same steps.